Hi, Krista from Esquire. This for Robbie, sorry. For your past productions, you've always mentioned parang being conscious of your Gen Z audience. Is there a similar direction for this one? The songs are timeless, the movie is a classic, but it's also old.
Yes. We're not targeting Gen Z. No. I like establishing a target market every time we do shows. Just like any product or service that's out there, number one rule is who's your target market, right? So for this, obviously, the initial target market would be Gen X up, because we're the ones who grew up with the music of Whitney, and then the movie came out at our time. However, the younger generation, the Zillennials, are the bulk of the audiences. So inevitably, we also want them to be able to watch the show. And so we had to sit down and say, and really think on how they can not only appreciate the musical as written, but more importantly, especially for this younger generation, is how can they see themselves in it. So we had to really dig deep. If you remember the movie was really more of a thriller. It wasn't really, out of the popular songs of Whitney, there were only like three or four. We have around 16, 18, something like that. So they added more songs of Whitney in the musical. And the musical is not really focused on the thrillerness of the story. It's actually on the romantic side. But Mio was pushing to try to put back the thrillerness of it. Now, more or less equal to the romantic aspect of the show. That way, it becomes more interesting. It becomes very different from how it was staged in London more than 10 years ago. And hopefully, that makes it more interesting, regardless of age, regardless of identifying with the songs per se. Secondly, what I really wanted also to focus on story-wise, because at the end of the day, my priority is the story. Kasi when you say Bodyguard, the movie, automatically it's Whitney, right? Second lang si Kevin Costner, who was actually the producer. But the title is The Bodyguard. So when we were also talking with Santi and our PR group on what the proper way to really sell the show, I had to sort of redirect them and say, look, the title is The Bodyguard, it's not The Star. So what does that mean? So we came up, I kind of shared my thesis that what the cast earlier shared was, everybody in the show is a bodyguard somehow. Tim plays Sai, Spectre, who is the PR manager of Rachel Marron. It's his job to protect her reputation, to be her bodyguard in that aspect. She has a friend she grew up with, Tony, played by Jasper, who is the small bodyguard before Frank gets hired. John Hoven plays the manager, who is also there to protect her some way, personally and business-wise. Everybody is a bodyguard. And the tragedy in the show happens because that person didn't get a bodyguard, didn't get guarded, didn't get protected. So that's the overall thesis. And we've been approaching every scene that way. I like to think, or I'm really hoping, that it adds that dimension to the show that makes it interesting to everyone who gets to see it. And it gets talked about. Because it can easily be identified as very dated. The script is very similar to the movie, which is 20, 30 years old. The musical, which came out more than 10 years ago, was also updated, but it's very different from today. As a matter of fact, the script makes mention only of Instagram. And social media today is far more than just Instagram. So we also had to devise ways of modernizing the show without revising the script. So we will make use of visuals that will employ and show the social media today, the tech of today. Even for those of you who know the story, Rachel has a stalker. Even our stalker is high tech. So things like that. So we're trying to make it really appealing and newish, despite the songs being classic. That's the approach. It's a given that the target market, the ones who will initially buy tickets are the ones who are really familiar with the songs, who want to dance to it, who want to sing along with it. But we're hoping the younger generation can also appreciate it. Which is also our target for all the classics we want to reproduce in the future. It's how do we stage it so that it's appealing to the current crop of audience goers, of audience members.
Thank you.
Thank you, Krista, and thank you, Rob. Frida?
Hi. Hi, everyone. Hi. To Christine, welcome back to Manila. We're so happy to have you back here. Can I ask what it means for you to return to the Philippine theater scene with this role in particular?
Hi, Frida, right? Thanks for that question. Honestly, it means the world. I've always wanted to come back and give back somehow, because this is where it all started for me, and this is what kind of formed me and gave me the fuel to go abroad and kind of forge my way there. So it means the absolute world to be able to bring such an iconic character and in a show na kilala ng lahat ng generation, hopefully, and hopefully the current generation will also get to know and love. And I love reconnecting with old friends, the people that I used to work with more than a decade ago na po. So it's amazing. And in the Philippines, in London, in the West End, it's a very small community theater. It's like almost like Big Fish, Little Pond. But here it's like a family. I think that's the difference in the Philippines. Like everyone is so interwoven, interconnected, and it really takes a village to make these things happen. And I feel very, very supported by everybody. And syempre, food is our love language, music is our love language, and it's very much like it's very much prevalent in the rehearsal room. So I'm very happy to be coming back with this show. It's terrifying, but also exciting. Thanks for it.
Hi. Can I ask Christine? Hi, I'm Leia. Leia from ABS-CBN Online. So, it's your first time to work here in Manila with Matt, right? Of course, yes. But you've worked with him in the West End. So how? Yes. So how is it different? How will it be different now that you're working again with him in Manila this time? And then ask Matt off that question.
Thank you. I think salamat. I think working with Christine is a delight everywhere. Whether it's here in London, she's a consummate professional, obviously beautiful and talented, and is really going to sort of make Rachel Marron her own. I think that's really special. We did a really intense rehearsal process of a show in London over the course of 3 weeks, and we only ever put on one public performance of it. So actually it's going to be a real joy to see the performance build over our sort of 16 performances we're doing at the proscenium, and let that sort of relationship between the two characters really blossom. So I'm thrilled to be here and working with Christine again, and I think it's going to be something really special.
How many times have you worked there?
Just once.
Just once, all right.
I think for me, what's nice is obviously it's nice to come home and be amongst familiar faces and family and theater people that I haven't seen in a long time. But it's also nice to have that anchor of a Londoner, because I've lived in London for, 15 years. I'm already British. So it's also nice to parang have best of both worlds and just be like, yo, this is crazy, right? and
she speaks Tagalog, which I never knew.
Yeah.
So that was new.
I know, he heard me speak Filipino, he was like, eh? But yeah, I think it's nice that I have like two anchors to be able to just hold on to and also bring to Rachel Marron the best of both worlds. That she's got an international spirit with a local heart.
What was the last local production that you did in Manila?
I think it was Hairspray in 2017 or 2016. Ay, tama ba? 2006? 2006,
The one at Greenbelt. Greenbelt? Atlantis?
With Bobby Garcia.
Yeah, about yes, Atlantis. Yeah. Nice to see you back. Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
All right, thank you, Leia. Thank you, Frida. Thank you, Krista. Any more questions? Please go ahead. Can we have a microphone here in front, please?
Hi, I'm Sherilyn from GMA News. So, we all know that the Philippine theater is now, and the shows are back to back. So, how do you think the Bodyguard adds up to that energy? And what do you think how do you make this musical stand out among other musicals that is showing right now? And also, were there any creative tweaks or reinterpretations you made to align the staging to the Filipino audience?
Sorry, that question is for...
That question is for Director Robbie, and well, can answer.
I think the first part should be answered by Sandy,
Okay.
as the producer. Sorry, can you repeat the first
Yeah, well, we all know that the Philippine theater is very booming right now.
Yes,
So
yes.
how do you think the Bodyguard adds up to that excitement? And how do you make this production special compared to other musicals?
Generally speaking, we love how theater is doing right now. I think we had that golden age of theater before, but I think it's coming back. With a lot of theater companies actually sprouting as well. So it's alive and kicking. Matt, as a newcomer here, that was one of his observations. He told me that, oh my God, the theater industry here is like thriving and everything. So that's right. And I think with the Bodyguard, it's a significant addition to what's happening right now, since you have a lot of flavors playing, like from originals to original straight plays, original Filipino musicals. With the Bodyguard, it's something that's from the West End, that's familiar to everybody. So there are a lot of flavors, diba, that people can choose from, or the audience can choose from, whether it be Filipino, English, or like Alice in Wonderland by Repertory Philippines. I think it's a significant addition to the lineup of Philippine theater, or what's showing in Philippine theater right now. In terms of creativity,
Yes, how did you make this align with the Filipino views? Or were there any creative tweaks?
Yes,
related
that's
to the
right.
audience?
Yes, we had to really employ quite a few. Staging wise, it's not as bare as the original London production. If you've seen clips online, for me, I consider that a bit bare. Filipino audiences are kind of used to eye candy. So Mio really thought hard on how to make sets look realistic, but at the same time, when required, they are the term not realistic, but what did you want? Semi something. Semi stylized. So some scenes will be realistic, some scenes are semi stylized. In terms of attack, I've had to ask Matt to do certain things or to say certain things a certain way, which for him was kind of weird.
I didn't overly resist.
Yeah, he didn't resist at all. But I would explain that, trust me, the Filipinos will like it. And I keep on reminding him that the market really is us. Majority, 99% will be Filipinos. And we have a very, very different taste when it comes to performers, when it comes to the people we see, when we come, especially with the ones you hear. They're so particular. I think I mentioned to him that we're very hard to please. That's why we work so hard. Also, this musical is probably the first that we've encountered where the responsibilities of the performers are very, very defined. So, in our Q&A, the first group were all the dancers. The dancers are just dancing. They are hardly in any of the acting scenes. The second batch were the actors. They're the ones who have the lines. The third batch were the singers, the ones who are going to be singing with Chrissy and with Sheena. It's very, very, very defined. So hardly were there scenes where they do all three. There are like 4 concerts in the show, and each concert, which was a challenge for me, was how to make each concert look differently because they're set in different cities. So that's also a costume thing. Another thing I can share is this musical wasn't written with costume changes in mind for some reason. And it also wasn't taking into consideration Chrissy leaving the stage. So I had to integrate moments for her to drink water within the scene. Because she ends a song and starts a scene right away. And sings again. It's really challenging for Chrissy actually. Yeah, it's relentless, but it's fun. We're still shaping the show, but yeah, creativity-wise, there are changes. There are things that I think I'm trying to make it as gimmick as possible. I don't know how to describe it. Gimmick is like
That's it.
Butterflies, like butterflies.
I want to make the Filipino audience giddy. So there are some things that he will say straight, and I say, it's not giving enough. So you have to do this. And he goes, really? Okay. And then he won't resist, he'll do it. Yeah, so we're lucky that he's very open. So yeah, we are adjusting a lot.
One last question for Miss Christine. First, congratulations and welcome back. So you said it was a full circle moment for you to go back in the Filipino to the Filipino audience. So how do you relate to this character that you're portraying, in personally or professionally?
Thank you for the question. So I think Rachel Marron, the character in the film and in the show, I think the biggest thing about her is she sacrificed a lot to chase her dreams. And in the scene, one moment in time, we actually see that she's like craving this like larger than life moment when she's more than the sum of her parts. And I think similarly, I've had to sacrifice a lot to kind of follow my dreams, chase my dreams. I had to leave home when I was a teenager. All I could do was boil an egg. I didn't know how to do my laundry, so I had to just learn how to do everything at a very young age by myself with no friends, no family. Whereas she sacrificed her safety, her privacy, her love life. So it's a lot. So I can relate to her in that, in the pursuit of greatness and like pursuing her art. I think as well, she feels the most alive when she's on stage, when she's singing, when she's telling stories, making music. I think I feel the same way. Like when I'm on stage, I think I'm just a different person. And yeah, even like I remember I did a concert in Mexico, and I did the sound check, and the boss, they didn't tell me that. They were like, we're a little bit worried because I don't see it. I don't see what we see on the videos. But then the moment I did the show, they're like, yun pala. So I think like Rachel, there's just this thing that clicks, and suddenly you're someone else, something else, and something takes over. I don't know, but yeah, maybe that's the closest I can relate to her. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. We have time for 2 more questions, but fear not, we have breakout interviews until 3 p.m. But for the Q&A, please go ahead.
Yes, this is for Matt. So we last spoke 2 weeks ago. I think we're just here for like a couple of hours. So now, what is your impression of the Philippines?
Yeah, it's much the same, really. I mean, the Philippine hospitality has been unbelievable. Their warmth and sort of welcoming nature has been incredible for me. I've never been to the Philippines before. First time in Manila. Santi came and Anna came and picked me up from the airport, and it's been, it's sort of continued from there. I have to say though that singing is like the Olympics in the Philippines, and the standard of singing is so high. I just had no concept we went to Rada's gig on Friday night. She was like sing. I was like, absolutely not. These people are incredible, and they all got up. Jasmine got up, and Sheena and CJ. I'm just blown away. The standard is so high across the board, and exactly as Substanti was saying, the theatre is booming here, and I'm blown away by the dedication, the talent, the love of theatre that is present here. And I've got some English friends coming over in Dear Evan Hansen this week, and I think they're going to have the best time. And it's been a brilliant sort of introduction into Philippine culture. I haven't had any balot yet.
Guess what? We have one here.
But I'm working my way down the Philippine food list, and the Philippine fruit list, which has been amazing. So I'm delighted to be here, and I'm really looking forward to the run of the show. And hopefully during the run of the show, I can get out and see a little bit more of your beautiful country, and get to the islands, and so really sort of experience it to the 100%. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Okay, we have time for one last question, and then we will do the breakout interviews after this. So, one last question?
Yes, so this is actually for Direct Robbie and Sam. What's it like working on the proscenium together? State-of-the-art, natural acoustics. What's that experience like? Maybe for everyone who wants to answer as well.
Okay, so for musical theater, it's actually very different. Proscenium, I think originally, About Crazy it was conceived to be as a concert hall, supposedly, initially, which has natural acoustics, because that's what we lack here in the Philippines or here in Manila. I think it used to be the Film Theater that had the best natural acoustics, but of course it's gone now. But with musical theater, it's totally the opposite of having a very great concert hall with natural acoustics, because you need to amplify, you need the speakers, you need the audio, you need the mic. So it was very tricky when we came in as consultants for Proscenium. We kind of tweaked it a bit so that it can now play musical theater and not just pure orchestra or pure opera. And so far, of course, we love Proscenium. In a way, we've put a lot of inputs as well, which of course Rockwell took into consideration. And our hopes is just we continue all our musical shows, even straight plays, basically all of our theater shows in the Proscenium. And so we're just happy about that. And yeah, thanks Tracy. I think we're booked already since. Sabi ni Tracy before, when they were planning to put up their theater, in a way they were anxious, because would they be having shows? Would it be rented out? Would it be filled out? And I was telling Rockwell, if you don't have any shows there, we'll fill it up for you, so you don't have to worry about that. But of course, Proscenium is open to everybody, not just Works Theatrical, so we welcome everybody, all theater groups, all performing arts companies. We would love for them to perform in the Proscenium. And it's built for that, by the way, it's built for that. So yon, natural acoustics. Pagdating ng musical theater, it will transform. We haven't tested it yet. We've tested for natural acoustics, but not yet for musical theater. And I guess we're the ones who's going to test it, right, Grace?
Yes,
okay.
Sorry, just to add to that, aside from the natural acoustics, which you've seen, some of you've seen in the test shows that we've done, for musical theater, we will be dropping down acoustic banners to absorb the sound, and then those are the things that we actually, just to add, the design for the Bodyguard is really showcasing all the things, all the goodies that the Proscenium has, which has 33 automated fly buttons. We have seamless screen for projections. We have projectors. You have all the seats in the 780 theater is nice. There are no bad seats. It's very intimate. So I guess we're so excited for you to see it and experience it for yourself, really. Yeah.
I was telling Frida earlier, the seats, by the way, for Proscenio, they can't be too comfortable. They can't be too comfortable. Of course, there has to be that certain amount of comfort, but not too comfortable, or otherwise would makatulog yung mga ano. So that's how it's built. Even in the West End or Broadway,
It's worse in the West End.
yeah,
I can't fit.
Imagine how I fit.
Can you imagine John?
Especially John was our test subject for the seats. No, but
It's really small.
yeah, so it cannot be too comfortable like the ones that you see in cinemas or in, well, other theater.
And also the experience, we would like to think that the experience, front of house experience of our guests, as well as the backstage experience of our performers is going to be as equally fantastic. The dressing rooms are interesting. We have a small kept mess hall that looks like a cafe backstage. A green room that has a Steinway. Oh my gosh!
And Metro will be showing a special,
Yeah.
a sneak peek.
And
So watch out for that.
And the black box of the 6th floor is amazing.
Yeah, that's where we're
Very
Vivace sound
fortunate
system.
to rehearse in it. Yeah, it's amazing. The venue is really amazing.
So I'm sure
Thank you,
we'll
Rockwell.
see everybody most of the time here in Rockwell, just for you to be able to experience different genres of the performing arts. Okay, so yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Now,